Hey, folks, welcome back. This is Unofficially Reviewed, and today we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
Ho, ho, ho,
yeah.
ho.
Was it Honor Amongst
Honor
Thieves?
Amongst Thieves. Yes. Are you
Yeah,
ready, Nate?
I am
You
ready.
ready?
Yes.
Uh, so this movie apparently, and I haven't been into a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons entertainment. So
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons, I think that people know is kind of a popular, very popular, like tabletop
Yeah,
role playing game where
very popular.
basically each person gets a character that they over time they kind of get different abilities and skills and those kind of things, and they're going through dungeons and fighting monsters.
Yeah.
Typically, there's someone that's the kind of the dungeon master that kind of runs the game.
Yep.
They kind of go through the scenario. They're kind of the narrator. They also can kind of roll for the opposition, those kind of things. So it's kind of a game that's been around for a while. I know probably a lot of Christian homes didn't play a whole lot of Dungeons and Dragons, but
Yeah, I didn't get to, but I played it, but not when I was a
right.
kid.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I mean, my experience, I played. You and I played Neverwinter Nights, which was
Yeah.
a fun game based in the
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons universe.
Hmm.
There's lots of computer, PC, Xbox, PlayStation games in that universe.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of other materials as far as like comics and books and things in the universe.
Yeah.
There was apparently some like a cartoon back in the day
I
that I
think there
never
was.
saw.
Yes. Oh, you
Yeah, and
never
then I
saw
think
it? I feel like I saw
yeah,
like
I never
two
saw it.
episodes or something like that. Yep.
And I think there was also another failed movie or a few movies
Yes.
some time ago. So
There was. I didn't see
um,
it, but I remember um having. Did I see it? I might have seen it. I Whatever it was really bad, I think. So
yeah, it's one of those things where it's it had kind of the stink on it for a while, and so,
yeah,
so it's very easy to make it very corny and kind of hokey. So
yeah.
I avoided it for so long, but I saw a lot of good reviews about this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a lot of people that I liked in the movie,
Yeah.
and so I said, hey, let me check this out. It stars Chris Pine, Michelle
Yeah.
Rodriguez. How you say his name? Reggie Jean
Regis
Page? Is
Jean
that?
Page, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know it's the French.
Oh yeah.
Um, Justice
I
Smith,
don't know if he
Sophia
pronounces it Page or
Lillis.
Page.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
And also Hugh Grant as Forge. So,
Yeah.
all that being said, what do you think of the movie overall, Nate?
I liked it actually. I thought it was really I thought it was really I thought it was funny, to be honest. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I went to go see it alone because Liam did not. Like I already like he goes to see like Marvel movies. He doesn't particularly like them in DC movies. But it's like time for us to spend together, right? But then he was like, "This is where I draw the lines."
He's like, not doing this. This is too nerdy.
So I drove all the way to Paris or near Paris to watch it. And it started out because it starts out they're like in prison and spoiler alert. It starts
So,
out.
quick pause. Plenty of spoilers.
Yes.
Because this story, I know where you're going. It's so amazing. But please continue.
Yeah, they started out telling like jokes, and I was just like, is this one of those wannabe like comedy movies or whatever? Until like when he was telling the story, right, and he was like, they were looking for Jonathan or
Jonathan,
whatever.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. And he was telling, then like he'd stop. He'd be like, this was like a story that maybe Jonathan would be interested in, and it just
Right.
like switched. Like I was like, what? This is so like weird, right? Until like all of a sudden it triggered in my mind. I'm like, well, it's Dungeons. It's a tabletop game where it's just a bunch of, in general, the game, like the tabletop game, it's a bunch of people who get together, and they and you have a dungeon master. The dungeon master is deciding how the story goes or whatever, but these people that you have together, they're the ones that make the story,
Right.
They're the ones that talk.
Yeah, it's unscripted.
All together. It's unscripted. It's just
playing a role.
Ridiculous. Yeah, you're role playing literally. And then like that's what triggered in my head, and I was like, this is what made it so ridiculous.
Right.
This
kind of
is
buy
something.
time.
like I'm just like, this is something that could happen. This was something that would happen. This is something that did happen in my when I was playing Dungeons and Dragons, like in our games. It's just randomness, whatever. So I thought everything is just it was just really funny, like to like when he was using all of a sudden. What is this? Oh, this is what's it? A wand of hither thither or something
right,
like that.
yeah.
You know, like even the name is just like. It's just so rare. And then when he was talking about what's his name, I forgot. You know the role that Jean Page.
Oh yeah, I guess he was a paladin, right? Or is he a
Yeah,
cleric? I don't know. I think he was a paladin.
Yeah, it was a he was a red wizard, right? Who became a paladin.
Well, he was the same race as them, I think. I'm not sure if he was.
Oh, right. Okay. So
Good question, though.
Right. So, anyways, yeah, and when he was like, they were like, "Oh, how do we get across this chasm?" He was like, "Oh, it's very simple." And then he starts making it just this very complex explanation. I was dying laughing because I was just like, "Yes, it's Dungeons and Dragons."
And of course, they tripped the trap anyway, and the whole thing was
tripped
just
the trap exactly. Like,
but back to Jonathan. So that whole time, I didn't realize how goofy the movie was going to be, right? So
right.
I'm still thinking it's some kind of a serious thing. So then Jonathan comes in and he's what was it? Are they Arakoa?
I don't know. I don't know
the bird people, right? So he's a bird person. He's got wings and stuff. So he comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I still don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then they're like, go. And basically the whole plan was they're waiting for Jonathan to come so they can grab him, jump out the window, and use him to get to a safe landing to escape the prison. On top of that, this was before like the review board.
Yeah.
And they had approved it.
They had approved it. He's like, but we approved it.
They're like, wait, we approved it. Like, it wasn't even necessary to even do this. But they just went off the script and
it's just off the script.
Such a creative solution to the problem. Like, who would think, oh, I'm going to grab this bird and jump out the window?
Wait, so like an anecdote. So my friend who lives in Thailand now, he was playing with my friend and his friends who they live in Luxembourg, right? And he was telling me this part where my friend his name is Alex, he was the dungeon master, and he had set the enemies up and whatever. And so he was like, so, you know, I don't know, goblins or whatever were coming at him. And then my friend Khan, who lives in Thailand, he was just like, oh, I'm using this spell. I don't know what the spell is. He told me what it was, but I forgot. And so I was just going to push him off the board. And then Alex was like, oh. Like, yeah, I guess you could do that.
Right? I mean, I guess.
Like he was like, okay, because he was expecting them, you know, to get into a fight.
Hey, if it works.
But that's it. So that's why that part because I thought that they were, you know, they were making it to be like Jonathan was going to be the one that was going to rule in their favor.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which made it even funnier when the guy at the end tried.
Okay, he tried it and they had closed it. That was so amazing. Yeah, that was perfect. He grabbed Jonathan right to the brick wall. I was like, oh my goodness.
That was so hilarious. Man. And the funniest person was it Holga or whatever she said?
Oh yeah, she was so literal.
Dry. Yeah,
right. And again, to me, what made it so amazing was like if you envision like someone literally playing a character, right?
Yeah,
like it makes sense that they would be so extra about it, right? Like, right. Now, exactly. I read something and it didn't click to me until I read it. Did you realize that Paladin was an NPC? Like that didn't click to me, but somebody was like, yeah, like that's why he knew so much information, all this stuff. And also remember when he only walked in a straight line?
He just walked.
Exactly. But that's why, right? Like he wasn't a player. He was an NPC. So he wasn't That's why he was like so extra, and like he had all these info dumps he would give them and all this stuff, and he knows different things, right? Like
because he wasn't good with sarcasm.
right.
And then what's his name? Just cut him off. That was so funny. He was talking about some like what was he talking about? He was about to say something about he was like some ancient you remember that? Like he was like some ancient not proverb or something like that. He started and I was like, oh God. And he was like, nope.
Oh man.
No, once I realized that they were literally writing this script as though it was a Dungeons and Dragons game, it was hilarious. Like
it was so wild.
It was so funny. Like, who would have known that Hogan's wife was like 3 times smaller than her husband was 3 times smaller than he was. Like, what?
Right, like that whole side thing was so useless.
It was so useless.
And what was so ridiculous was when they had to go and question the dead people. And they only got 3 questions. And if you think about it, just imagine like a dungeon master being such a jerk about it, right? Like, that's a question. I was like, really? That's another one.
It was funny. like I expected it, but it just happened, and I was like, "What?" And it wasn't just like he answered it. He got to the 5th one. He was like, "Nope." He just
right. They'd ask him some random questions so they could actually die.
It was so bad. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. I'm crying. Okay, no, that was so yeah. So what did you think about it?
No, I had a lot of fun with it. Like I imagine if I were more of a fan, like I would have enjoyed it even more, right? Because again, like I know a little bit about it. I understand kind of how the game works. I've never actually ever played like true tabletop like RPG. Like I just haven't done it before.
Yeah.
So playing on computer isn't quite the same, but I understand about the roles and the, skill checks, those kind of things, which you can kind of see different things happening as you watch the movie, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm eager to see what they do. I'm sure they're going to make another one now.
Yeah, right? They set it up to make another one, so hopefully they.
I mean, honestly, you could have so many in the same universe, really, that don't even really have to connect.
Excuse me.
They can just keep making different ones, right?
If they do well.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be a win for Dungeons & Dragons, or was it Wizards of the Coast?
Right. Yeah.
Because apparently they are doing so well. They've been getting battered because of their decisions. Apparently they were trying to make people pay for their the company was trying to make people pay for or pay them for their kind of adaptations that they would do and stuff like that. Like their name, and now they're working on, apparently I just read yesterday that they had some potentially racist kind of situation or race or whatever in the game or whatever, so hopefully this is a kind of a win for them. I don't know, they were like, well, because Dungeons and Dragons in general, just for in case anybody doesn't know, it's like it's a free game, right? So you buy, if you're a dungeon master, you buy all these books. There are a lot of books excuse me, and they're really thick or whatever, but everything else, like the paper and stuff like that. Well, not the paper, you can do paper now, but you can do it online and stuff like that. All of that is like, free to play. Some of them, I think there are some that you can more intricately, you can pay for to create maps and stuff like that. I think you can pay to create maps, but like it's free. Like it's not a game that you have to like invest in, especially if you're not the dungeon master. If you're not the dungeon master, you don't pay anything. You
Right.
just,
Yeah, I saw something I was looking online the other day because I signed up for something that they had because they had these stat sheets for each of the characters from the movie.
Oh,
But in order to
okay.
see them, you had to join like the D&D club or something. I had
All
to get
right.
I had to get some account. So I got that. So I get emails every so often now from that. But
Okay.
that was interesting also just to see like this person's charisma amount and
Yeah,
their
that's
intelligence and
interesting.
their strength and all that. That was really interesting because to match it up with the characters, it was kind
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah.
But also I saw something where it was I think it was they had a list like certain like I guess monsters or bosses that you could use like in your own game, and some
Hmm.
of them are free, and some of them you could do. But I guess you could interact with them via like the web to like count off damage and stuff. But in
Okay.
order to fully do that, you had to pay a certain amount to be able to use it
All
to
right.
like calculate
Okay.
it automatically, right? Otherwise, you'd be doing it all,
But that
pen and
wasn't with
paper.
Wizards of the Coast. That's like its own like
No,
third
I think
party, right?
it was the Dungeons and Dragons website.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
that's new.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it sounds like as a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, you were satisfied. You think they did it justice
I think fan is probably a little strong. Like I like the idea
as
of
a
Dungeons and
consumer?
Dragons. Yeah, consumer exactly, and I don't consume it very often, but I did play Dungeons and Dragons the online game way back in the day. Um and we like you said we played Neverwinter Nights, which was fun. They actually obviously that was in the movie Neverwinter Nights.
Right.
Also Baldur's Gate was in there, um, which is also part based on Dungeons and Dragons. Excuse me. So, but I'm not like a fan. Like I don't know. Like you were mentioning the species of the bird species. I don't know. So but when I think I just liked it. I If it hadn't been written in the way as if this was actually a game that was being played or whatever, if it hadn't been written that way and they were just trying to be funny, I don't think it would have worked. Right? I think it worked because I think that that's what they were going for. They wrote this like it wasn't serious at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had an obese dragon.
Right. Right. Just,
like like not these and the way that they got out of it was also just something that you would see in a game. Like he was like, we're gonna go underwater, the you're gonna put your finger up or whatever, do the flame, and then let him blow a hole through this thing. It's something that happens during the Dungeons and Dragons game. So I think because they did it that way, I think that's why it worked out so well. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I'm not a huge fan of Dungeons and Dragons, but I do like the concept, and so yeah. And you, would you?
it was definitely a fun movie. Again, I'm more of a casual observer of the content. I mean, I played a few of the games in the universe, but
Mm-hmm.
again, I've never actually like role played before. Just because
Right.
for me, that's I need a few more boundaries. To me, it
Mm-hmm.
feels too open to just
Oh
to just
yeah.
play a character. Like, what?
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I think it was a lot of fun. I think this may do the job of bringing more people into the
Yeah.
D&D universe, either with the games or books or whatever it is. Right? I think it'll pull people in, pull people
Yeah.
back. So I think that's a good thing for them. So I'm excited. So who's your favorite character?
Um. Oh, let's see. Who was my favorite character? Probably. I don't know. Actually, the druid. What's her name? Doric.
Mm-hmm.
Doric, I think it was. She was hilarious at the at the end when she was bad. I was laughing so hard. Oh my god! I was in a movie theater. The movie theater was packed, and I was crying when she was like pounding. When she was like pounding the what was Sophie? No, the red wizard, the red mage.
Oh, I can't remember her name.
When she was like pounding when she had put the bracelet, got the bracelet put on her.
Mm-hmm.
She the Doric was just going to town, and I was crying, laughing, and he was explaining the how it all worked out and stuff like that. But I don't know, probably the sorcerer anyway. What was his name?
Oh right. Oh shoot.
Because he did do some when he kind of got his act together. He did do some pretty cool stuff. I forgot his name, but I'm just also I have an affinity towards sorcerers and mages, so you know.
I
I
mean,
forgot
that
his
is
name.
very true.
Yeah. Anytime I'm playing again, like we were playing Neverwinter Night like years ago, decades ago, literally.
Right.
Um, and I would always just play a mage, just always. I could do druid sometimes, but definitely a mage. So, who was your favorite?
I kind of I was hoping to have more of the paladin characters, just because
Yeah.
one, he was it's just so literal.
Yeah.
Um, but two, just his fighting skill was unmatched as far as
Yeah.
the whole movie. Right, he was just
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
taking everybody out. I was like, I like this guy. Then I was like, that's it. That's all
Yeah.
we had.
I thought he was going to come in at the end to save what's her name, the Holga,
Right.
but I guess using the tablet makes sense too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you kind of see that coming?
no, because I totally forgot about the tablet. Like I didn't like yo. Listen, let me tell you because this is weird. Like so it's like the tablet of resuscitation or something like that. I forget. Resurrection. The
Mm-hmm.
tablet of resurrection or whatever. Then in the movie, they had mentioned they had said it was a tablet of riches, right? So that like he had
Oh, because
lied
he
and said it was
lied.
a
Yeah.
tablet of riches. For some reason, in my head, it all of a sudden just became the tablet of riches. I totally forgot that it was the tablet of like. Even though he kept saying, he was going to reset, he was going to revive his wife or whatever. I just kept thinking of it as the tablet of riches. So at the end, he brought it up, and I it just took a minute for my mind to click. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense, because I was totally expecting for the paladin to come back. That was very much just a Nate thing, but this is why I was like, what? She can't die, but she didn't die. I mean, she did die, but she,
Right.
whatever. But
Made sense. Made
he
sense.
was he was like, but I felt like he was also just really cheesy. Like I know they made him that way,
Right. That's why it was
like
so
on
great.
purpose. But yeah, I don't know. That was yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just remembering parts of this movie. It was just absolutely just asinine. I don't know. So
Uh,
like when I don't know why it was so funny, but because I don't know if it was supposed to be that funny, but I guess because I had been just laughing the whole time. Like when she was trying to turn the whole stadium, into the undead or whatever, and they had the balloon, and they were like, they had done the porter all in the balloon, and it was
all
like
right.
when they were all there, they were like, "Oh, this is the gifted," whatever he was promising. They started running after it, and she's like, and she
Empty.
looks down, it's empty. It was so funny. And she was like, and then at the end, she was like, "You don't know the extent of my body." I'm sorry, but it was just so good. It was just so good. Like it
Mm.
was just so it was so random, and I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I liked it a
All
lot. I
right.
even got a
So,
goblet or
oh, you
like
did.
a cup. Yeah, you had to order Diet Pepsi with it, but I was just like, I might as well. So or Diet Coke. So I did.
Nice.
Anyways, yes.
All right. So, score. What do you give it?
Oh man, I
What's your
think I'd
rating?
give it like a. Wow, I think I'd probably give it like an 8, maybe a 9 actually. There's one specific reason why it wouldn't have a 10. One very specific reason, but I'm not gonna say why.
Okay. What a tease.
Yeah, but yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna say why.
yeah, I'm not gonna say why.
Ask me later.
Yeah, if you're curious, comment and ask why, and
It's like
maybe I
Reggie had too
will.
many clothes on. Fail.
But yeah, anyways, yeah. So
All right. Yeah, I think
what'd you
I'm
give it?
probably in the 8.5 category, close
Yeah.
to 9. It was a
Okay.
good time. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a type of movie that I would enjoy anyway. I
Yeah.
appreciate that it wasn't hokey, it wasn't corny, it wasn't,
Super
the
serious. Yeah.
humor was good. The action was good. Um, I like that, it wasn't just like they had to be creative with their solutions to the
Yeah.
problems, which I
Mm-hmm.
think was, I mean, it also just kind of harkens back to like the actual game, right?
Right.
Kind of
Exactly.
creative way to get around the issue. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just, fight your way through it all the time. So
Right.
I
Exactly.
thought that
Which
was
was
pretty
funny
cool. So
because now you make me think of Hogan's like, why don't you just magic? Why don't you just magic it away to everything? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was because that is a conversation you it's a conversation you have when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're a mage. You're like, why can't you? Don't you have a spell? Like that is the conversation you have. You're like, don't you have a spell for that? Look, man, I don't have an answer for everything as a mage. Like, come on. So yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, but I
good
just
times.
enjoyed it. So yeah, okay. So we
Yeah,
agree, eight and a
yeah,
half.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I think that's a solid recommendation from our unofficial review.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has been unofficially reviewed.
definitely.
Eight and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
half, 9. Go see it. If you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons, I don't see why you wouldn't like the movie. I've not seen too much hate going around, so
Yeah, I don't. I
yeah.
didn't know. I mean, it did get Rotten Tomatoes, I think, or something like that, right? Somebody gave it a low review. I can't remember whom, but um, so I went in there thinking it was going to be kind of meh, but it wasn't at all. So don't trust the reviews if you see negative reviews. It was good. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so on Rotten Tomatoes, tomato meter is at 90%. I get scored
Oh
93%.
no, that's not where I saw it. I saw it. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up.
Looking good, looking good.
I looked. It might have been on Google. Is that what happened? Where was it? Was it in Google? Oh yeah, it was. Okay, so before, yeah, so it says the press here. No, sorry. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is this page. It's a French website called Allociné, which is where you go to kind of get your information for movies and stuff like that, right? And so this is what I was looking at, and it said that the press gave it 3 out of 5, so it's 3.2 out of
Mm.
5, right? And then the spectators gave it 4 out of 5. So that's why I kind of went in thinking it was going to be a little bad, but it wasn't bad. So yeah.
Sweet.
Anyways, that's that.
That is that.
Yes.
Thanks for joining, y'all.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
a pleasure, Nate.
Thank you. Same, Chris.
Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to Nate, as always, for our wonderful editing work, which I guess I'll start helping with eventually when I quit being
Yeah.
lazy. priorities.
Listen, it's hard work. It's hard work. So,
But always thanks to Tim for our graphical work. Jaden Moore does our music.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll catch y'all next time.
All right. Ciao.
Later.